Thank you, Madam Chair, and welcome to all of our witnesses, especially my constituent, Mr. Spoa. Mr. Christy Spoa is the president of Ellwood City Save-A-Lot, located in Ellwood City, Pennsylvania. Mr. Spoa's company is family-owned and was started over 90 years ago. He is testifying on behalf of the Food Marketing Institute. FMI represents more than 1,500 food retailers and wholesalers worldwide. Welcome, Mr. Spoa.
Your mic is not on. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. And members of the committee, thank you for inviting me to testify about the impact of the estate tax on small businesses. My name is Christy Spoa Sr., and I am the president of the Ellwood City Save-A-Lot in Ellwood City, Pennsylvania. We've been a family-owned business for 91 years and are proud of the relations we have built with our customers and our community. I am pleased to say that the fourth generations of Spoas will carry on this tradition. 3 of my children work with me at the Save-A-Lot and will eventually run the company. Operating a supermarket is a demanding undertaking that requires long hours and dedication, but they have tackled these challenges with creativity and enthusiasm. I take great pride in knowing that I am leaving the business in good hands. However, the existence of the estate tax makes planning this succession harder than it should be. For a number of years, I have worked with my industry association, the Food Marketing Institute, to advocate for the repeal of this unfair tax. I hoped the 2001 reforms would be the first steps in this process. But the situation it created by having the tax disappear next year before snapping back to as much as 55% in 2011 has made estate planning nearly impossible. I continue to hope that Congress will repeal the tax or eliminate it for companies to stay in the family. But right now, businesses like mine need certainty and predictability. The estate tax hits family-owned businesses when they are at their weakest, following the death of the head of the company. This period can turn into a nightmare for families that have not adequately prepared. I can only imagine how painful it must be to have to sell off all or part of a once thriving family business in order to pay the estate tax. Supermarket owners tend to be asset rich in terms of buildings, equipment, and stock, but cash poor. Every single store operator can find themselves bursting the current exemption levels, and multi-store companies can easily exceed $10 million. It is exceedingly difficult for companies like mine and others in the industry to withdraw significant amounts of cash to pay the estate tax. And since I operate a single store, selling off part of the business to raise funds is not an option. No one wants to leave that as a legacy for their children. So in order to protect against the cost of the tax, I carry a life insurance policy that will help my family cover the expense of compliance should anything happen to me. Similarly, I have spent countless hours with lawyers and accountants to plan for the orderly transition of leadership from myself to my children. The estate tax makes this process infinitely more complicated and will even be more complex once my children take over, since there will now be 3 owners. They will also have to spend a significant amount of money to make sure that unforeseen circumstances do not threaten the viability of the business and their ability to leave it to the next generation. So I'm not just passing on the company, but the cost of estate planning as well. Some might argue that this is the cost of doing business, but every dollar that goes toward insurance premiums and estate planning is a dollar not invested in my business. It is money taken from job creation, increased wages, and better benefits. Right now I have 25 employees, and they bear the brunt of this tax just as much as my family does. In the 91 years we have been in business, I would guess we have employed over 1,000 people at one time or another. Where are these jobs going to come from if family businesses are weakened or sold to cover the cost of the tax? It can be easy to ignore this impact, but for communities that are struggling to create good jobs, it is a question that needs to be answered. At the start of my testimony, I mentioned that I have been advocating for years to repeal this tax. It is my belief that it simply does more harm than good. Both the industry and I recognize that this is a difficult task and have worked to support reasonable compromises when they are offered. but I continue to believe that repeal is the best solution and the best way to make sure that small and family-owned businesses continue to thrive and create jobs. For individually owned and operated grocery stores like mine, the estate tax is a constant source of anxiety that has real consequences for my family, my employees, and the day-to-day operations of my business. I do not have the cash or assets on hand to simply write the government a check, so I spend years and thousands of dollars to plan for the worst. But no matter how much I spend, I always wonder, have I done enough? Thank you for inviting me to testify, and I will be happy to answer any questions.